Hi, I'm Dan Weedin. Welcome to the August 11th, excuse me here. Welcome to the August 11th Weedin Unleashed episode. It's my weekly broadcast, and I'm glad that you're here joining me, whether you're here live or whether you are watching this at a later date. Thank you for taking a few minutes of your time to join me and take part in this. Just a quick update on what Weedin Unleashed is, if there are anybody new out there watching. This is my weekly broadcast, and the topic is going to be based off of what my Monday morning extra points topic, concept, best strategy, whatever it is I'm talking about that day. We're going to talk about it a little bit here. It's your opportunity to come share, discuss. I've got my questions and answers up. And so we're all ready to go with that. It's going to be a weekly thing. Excuse me. I hate having an itch in my ear right at the wrong time, so my apologies. This is live TV, and so that's what happens once in a while. But this is our opportunity to chat a little bit about this. I do have my questions and answers up where you can share your comments, your questions, some ideas that I might throw out at you, and we'll have some fun for 15 to 30 minutes depending on how long this goes. For those of you who are out there live, please do that. For those of you who are watching later on, feel free to give me an email if you have questions about anything that we talk about today. dan@danweedin.com. I'd be happy to respond to that. So we're off and running again on another, oh, by the way, it's every Monday, noon Pacific Standard Time, so we're off and running on a new one today. And today's topic on my extra points was called Fail Hard. Fail Hard. I remember distinctly the very first time I completely had the wind knocked out of me playing football. I was in 9th grade, and I was playing organized football for the very first time. I played a lot of not rec football, but backyard and park football, and sand lot type thing where you get together with your friends. But it's the first time really playing with pads on. And we had this drill where one guy has the ball, and his goal is to get by the guy who's trying to tackle him to the other side. It's basically a one-on-one, mano-a-mano type of a situation. I had the ball. And again, I'd played some football, but never organized, so I was a little bit tentative. And so I did not go at it full speed ahead like you're supposed to. I thought, well, perhaps if I go less than full speed, I may get tackled, but it won't hurt as much. That's not the case. My friend, Eric Seeley, tackled me, and he tackled me hard. He was going full speed. And he got me right in the chest. And the next thing I remember, I was looking up at the blue sky. It was a crisp September day, looking up at the blue sky and not being able to breathe. In fact, I couldn't even take a breath in. And Eric was over me trying to tell me, just take a deep breath, calm down. And certainly I caught my breath a few seconds later. But it was a great lesson. I don't know if I caught it then, but it was a great lesson for me that when you do anything but go hard in football, you're more likely to get hurt. And so I think the same is true in business and in life. Now let's go back to the sports part of it a little bit. I don't care whether you're playing football, you're playing basketball, you're playing an individual sport, your body is set up to withstand getting hurt. It's set up to withstand being knocked down and being able to stand back up. But you have to be going at full force, because force on force actually is a good thing. Force on something that is not going full strength is going to hurt the thing. It's going to crumple the thing that's not. And that's what happened to me. I got crumpled. And so whenever you look at situations where whether you have a professional athlete or an amateur high school athlete, if they're not going full strength, they're more likely to get hurt. And that's talked about all the time when you're in coaching or you're in sports. In business, if you're going to fail, fail hard. Fail by going 100%, because the blow that you take will not hurt as much as if you're not going full speed. Now in sports, I am definitely talking about pain physical, but the pain to your business could be long-standing. If you do anything but go at 100%, those rough patches, the crises that pop up and will always pop up, will end up hurting you more in a matter of loss of revenue, culture, employee morale, a whole lot of different things. Even your messaging and your branding and your reputation could all take a hit if you're doing anything but giving 100%. Now you may be asking, well, Dan, how do we do, how do we give less than 100%? How can we do that in our business? How can we do that in our life? Well, we're all tentative at times, and the tentativeness often comes from lack of self-confidence. You've heard me speak about that before. Lack of self-confidence, lack of self-worth, lack of trust in the system. I'm a golfer, and I always think about not trusting my swing. Well, if you're not trusting your swing in your business, or your message is unclear because you don't understand it yourself, that's a problem. The other thing that can come up that I see in many occasions is when you're not going full speed, you're not sure you're in it for the long haul. This isn't about dipping your toe in the water. As my business coach, Alan Weiss, says, we're not here to dip our toes in the water. We're here to make waves. Cortez said once, when he came to the New World, we're going to burn those boats because we're not going to die. We're either going to die here or we're going to survive. So failing hard means that you're giving everything you've got, not only from an effort level, but from a mental level. And so one of the questions I'm going to ask to the viewers, I see we've got a couple of viewers out there today, is give me some examples in your experience. It doesn't necessarily have to be you. It could be, but it could be a place that you've worked or things that you've seen. Can you give me some examples of where you have seen situations or examples of businesses not going full speed, going less than 100%, where something may have happened, they got hurt? I would also say that when we look at about unleashing your full potential, that going less than 100% will cause you to miss opportunities. And I think that's a very realistic situation. It's true for business as well. If you're not committed, if you're not going 100%, maybe in the end that's what we're talking about is being committed, being dedicated to the process, being willing to change and try different things, and realizing that the only way to get to where you want to faster is by being all in. So give me some examples. This is a great opportunity. I've just got several viewers out there. If you'd like, you'll see a place if you're in a situation where you can type. If you're driving, I know sometimes I've had people driving. Don't do it while you're driving. If you have an opportunity to share right now, what are some situations that businesses or individuals go less than 100% in your experience? And I'll talk about that a little bit some more as well as I wait for some of those to roll in. By the way, as a quick reminder, this is being recorded. Please feel free to come back onto my YouTube channel, danweedin.tv, DANWEEDIN.tv, and feel free to come and watch us anytime you want. I've got somebody coming in here and asking a question, or I'm making a statement. Dave, capital constraints can force companies large and small to giving 100%. Great point. I had not brought that up. Dave, thank you for doing that. Capital constraints, cash flow, fear of lack of cash flow, fear of loss of revenue. Those are all areas that might do just that. Think about what's happened over the last 4 or 5 years when we were in a tremendous recession. Companies cut back. They were looking because the revenues were down, or they were perceived that they were going to be down, and they started cutting back and they started saving and not investing. And a lot of times they weren't investing in two very important places. They weren't investing in professional development, and they weren't investing in marketing. Those were the places that went by the first. In fact, my own personal story as a school board member during that time, we actually had to stop investing in professional development. I say we had to. We didn't have to. We chose to. We're limited on the money that we can bring in, but I thought it was a bad idea at the time, and I still do. Professional development is critical. And many businesses out there stopped sending people to classes, to workshops, to different things, even putting them on internally because of the cost. Marketing is another place. So Dave, thank you for that. Capital constraints can force companies, both large and small, to not give it 100%. What are some other areas? Hoarding cash is another thing Dave said. Dave is in the Silicon Valley, and he said that's rampant over there. Hoarding cash, it's the old analogy of stuffing it in your mattresses. You've got the money and it's cash on hand. We're going to take care of it, and we're going to put it away and hoard it and not reinvest it within the company. So that's another example of not giving it 100%. It's a mindset, and that mindset can move over to the culture of the company. And that's something that could be insidious, deadly to your business, horrible for employee morale, and causes employee turnover. From an individual level, we just talked about company things. So you're talking about hoarding cash. You're talking about not reinvesting, capital constraints being a part of that. What are some other areas from a business level? Well, as we said, not marketing, not growing professionally, and sometimes, unfortunately, it's not even capital constraints. Not knowing that you should be. Part of my consulting world is talking about crisis management, disaster recovery. A lot of companies are unwilling to invest time or money into that. The problem is that when the crisis comes, they don't have anything in place, and they fail. Crisis management is part of going in 100%. If you're committed to long-term sustainability, you've got to be able to know what to do in a crisis, not only as a company, but as an individual. If you are working as a professional business person, you might be in real estate, you might be selling insurance, you might be a doctor, you might be doing something from a professional development standpoint. What are, not from a professional development, but from a professional services standpoint, what are you doing for your own development and growth? Are you hoarding cash, or are you, because of capital constraints, not going out and investing in yourself? Look, the best investment that you can make is in yourself, and that's a place that you have to be careful and fight hard and not give up on. Businesses do it, individuals do it, and we've seen that a lot over the past couple of years. I think we're starting to come out of that mentality, but it's a hard one to come out when you start bringing in some revenue. So it's something that we all should be cognizant of. Any other comments out there? I've been rambling on for about 15 minutes now, and Dave, thanks for chiming in. I think when we boil down, this is called Unleashed, Weedin Unleashed. Part of this whole concept of giving 100% goes back to being unleashed, being in your yard, being constrained, and being a dog. I'm going to tell you, Captain Jack, the Jack Russell terrorist that rules my life at times, he goes at it 100%. I've watched him escape a leash and a harness and an open door and bound unfettered in full force, going at it 100%. If he's going to fail, he's going to fail hard. And that's what we need to do. By the way, I didn't talk about failure in this regard, and some of you may be wondering, what do I mean by that? Are we trying to be successful all the time? I actually believe the more we fail, the better that we get, and the quicker we get to the goals we want. We often are scared of change. We're often tentative about trying new things, new services, new programs, new intellectual property, because there's a fear, and that's part of self-confidence and self-worth, and I think a lot of it is human nature. But the reality is that we are in an ever-evolving global economy, and whether you're one person or you have 1,000 employees, we can't sit still. We're going to have to change. And so being fearless in that regard and trying new things, and if you fail, you fail, but learn from it. There's no failure out there. Anything that each of us has failed at that we haven't learned from. We're in the midst of baseball season, and the very, very best all-star hitters hit somewhere around 300. that means they're failing 7 out of 10 times. The very best of those learn something from every ground out, from every strikeout, from every pop fly. They've learned something and gained. We can do the same thing. So we better hurry up and fail. We better hurry up and try some different things that aren't going to work so we can learn from them and move on and be successful in the next one. I got another one from Dave here. Dave, thanks for piping in today. Entrepreneurs often don't invest in getting their ideas to market, entrepreneurs often don't invest in getting their ideas to market, go-to-market strategies. So we talked about investing in professional development. We talked about investing in marketing. And Dave's talking about investing in getting those ideas for go-to-market strategies. So this is all about strategic thinking. It's all about taking risk. And it's all about being able to sustain a blow. Don't go half speed, because what happens is when that crisis comes, like the one we had in 2008, you get hit hard, and you don't want to have that happen. So we have anybody else want to join in? I think I've said just about all I have on this topic. I'll do a quick recap, and then we'll talk about being back again next week. So the bottom line is in sports, especially in contact sports, if you're not going full speed, if you're tentative at all, the likelihood of you getting hurt is increased dramatically over somebody who is going full speed. They are more prepared to take the blow. They're more prepared to be resilient than you are. So going at 100% in full speed is vital to you both from a professional and a personal standpoint. What does that look like? Well, going less than full speed is willing not to take risks, looking not to change for fear. Capital constraints may keep you from trying to do things like professional development or marketing, hoarding cash out of fear. Again, it comes back to that. There's a lot of things that we as individual entrepreneurs and as executives will often do to show that we're really not committed to the end process, or that we have concern about that end process. You have to go at it full speed, just like a running back going through the line of scrimmage. So my challenge to each one of you is this. When you're feeling trepidation, when you're feeling like it's something that there's something out there that you're concerned about trying, think about if it's prudent, but think about, hey, is this risk worth taking? Is this showing that I'm going full speed? And if I fail, so what? I'm going so hard that I'm going to be resilient, I'm going to bounce back up, and I'm going to go on to the next thing very quickly. Thank you for the viewers who are out there today. I don't see any other questions coming in. So with that, I'll do some wrap up. Weedin Unleashed will be back next Monday, August 18th. Same time, same channel. The time is 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If you want to get regular notices, you can follow me on Google under Dan Weedin. You can go to danweedin.com and sign up for my newsletter. You can email me at dan@danweedin.com and become involved in this as well. I hope this will become a regular part of your Mondays. And if you miss it, you're always able to watch on danweedin.tv. So with that, I'm going to thank all of you out there. Dave, thanks for pitching in today. That was great. I hope that you take away something of great value from this. I'd love to talk to you about suggestions and topics that you have for future consideration as we go through the year. I'm always open to those suggestions and ideas. Shoot them over to me at dan@danweedin.com. So for today, that's it. Thanks a lot for joining us, and I will look forward to seeing you next week. Ciao.